It's a Ted Lasso side story. It's Friday. It's Ted Lasso Day, and I'm here to talk to you about season 2, episode 9, Beard After Hours, which is coming to Apple TV Plus on September 17th, 2021. It's a 43-minute episode that features well, I don't know if he's everyone's favorite coach, but everyone's kind of most philosophical and sarcastic coach, Beard. Oh, actually, maybe that's Roy. But anyways, this one features Beard, and pretty much only Beard. Beard is the only kind of main character that shows up in this episode, and that leads to some good and some bad. So I'm going to talk to you a little about the episode, three things I liked, four things I didn't like. I'm going to go into some things about the story just as I talk about the episode. So if you haven't seen it, go out and watch it on Apple TV Plus. It's available now because the embargo goes up when the episode's up. So watch the episode and then come hear my thoughts on it if you want to. So in Beard After Hours, after AFC Richmond's shocking loss to Man City, Beard, rather than kind of go home with the team and with the crew, he decides to go for a walk to kind of clear his head. And that leads to this kind of odyssey throughout the night where he goes to several places in the London nightlife and meets some very strange people. It's got kind of a noir aspect to it as he goes about the city at night and kind of gets into these strange kind of mysterious situations. It's got kind of a road trip-ish kind of feel because he goes to a couple different pubs, so it has a few different influences, and it's fine. It's just there's some things I didn't love, but I'm going to go into that second. First thing I will do is talk about the things I did like. And so the first thing is there are some funny scenes and scenarios. I mean, it's Ted Lasso. You're going to have a lot of humor. And this episode, you kind of get to see some different aspects of London and Beard's character. And that leads to some funny scenarios where he like talks his way into a club and goes up into someone's hotel room and then gets maybe accosted by that person's boyfriend. And, it's a long, interesting odyssey that takes Beard throughout these various areas, and so that kind of leads to some fun, leads to some hilarity, leads to some awkward situations. But it's Ted Lasso, so it's all enjoyable. The second thing I liked is that you get to see some of the nightlife in the UK, which was fun. Like you get to see some interesting clubs and pubs, and you get to experience the city after dark. And I've never been to London, so I don't know what it's like. So this was kind of a fun little detour that lets you see some areas of London that you don't normally see in the show, because normally the show is kind of Ted Lasso's apartment, some of the people's houses, and the pitch. So you get to see a little bit of a different area. The third thing I liked is that early on in the night, Beard meets up with our three favorite side characters, the three Richmond supporters, and they play prominent roles in this episode. So it's fun to spend some more time with them. They got more of kind of an extended, meatier role in the film, and you got to see them interact in various places, not just the pub. So that was also fun. It was fun to see them throughout the night as well. And the fourth thing I liked about this episode is there's a really funny cameo that happens throughout the episode. They kind of appear early on, and they keep showing up in different places, and they are really funny. I really that cracked a smile on my face. I really loved seeing that cameo throughout, and so I think you'll probably love it too if you are a fan of soccer. So things I didn't love. The first is that this is just a side story, right? Like I mentioned at the start, in anime, this would be kind of like the episode where after the big mission, they're like, oh, we have to clean the ship, and they'll go and like clean the ship, and you'll maybe have a story or two and maybe some funny scenario that happens. But really, it just feels like a time filler. It almost feels like this was an episode that was given to someone else to write and direct and say, hey, go off and make this side project. We don't have to worry too much about the story. We don't have to worry about anything else that happens. You can just go have fun, and then we'll come back. Or they're like, hey, we now have a 12 episode season rather than a 10 episode season. Let's fill it with a couple extra episodes. They're really, unless something happens later on, it doesn't feel like any of the experiences will really translate into the main story. You don't really see many of the main story characters other than Beard and the three supporters, and so it just feels like everything that happened in this night didn't have much of a consequence. Now there was a realization that Beard had throughout the night that I guess will probably translate into some aspects of the story, but overall it doesn't really feel like much of what happened in this episode is going to affect the main, canon Ted Lasso story, whatever you want to call it. Um, the second thing I didn't love is, I like Beard's character, but I didn't really love having him for the entire episode. Beard, he just didn't really carry the episode for me. I mean, he was funny, and the actor that plays Beard did a really good job, but his character just doesn't have as much. I don't know. His character's not as exciting to watch. His character is not as engaging as like a Ted Lasso, or pretty much only a Ted Lasso. I'd probably watch an episode with Roy, but I like his shtick in small chunks. I didn't love it for the entire episode, but maybe that's just me. Maybe other people will like it more. But that's just kind of how I felt about that part. And the third thing I didn't love, I mentioned it in the side story part of it, is that you didn't really get. This didn't feel like a consequential episode. It felt like everything that happened here was just kind of a diversion. And I like Ted Lasso because you get that emotion, you get those big life altering moments and the things that affect the team and the joy and the peril of things that happen in soccer. And so this, you just didn't get that. It just felt like this kind of fun side diversion. And the last thing I didn't love is that there's just not enough Ted. I mean, it's the show is Ted Lasso. I want to see Ted. I want to have Tedisms, and I want to hear his Midwest charm and his side, in his anecdotes and things like that. And I just didn't get any of that in this episode. And that also means that there wasn't much soccer. There was a little bit of soccer here and there, but overall, it just didn't feel. I wanted more Ted. I wanted more of the main story. I just didn't get that, and that kind of left this episode a little bit of a frustration. And the episode's fairly long, so I kind of was waiting for something big to happen, and it never really did. But so that's that's my take on Ted Lasso season 2, episode 9. I mean, look, it's Ted Lasso. You're gonna watch it anyways. It's really felt like an unnecessary episode, and I'm hoping maybe I'm wrong, and some of the things that happen in this will have major consequences in the series, or maybe they'll get back on track next episode. It feels like from the ending, it feels like the next episode will be more of your kind of traditional Ted Lasso. But so that's Ted Lasso season 2, episode 9 is available to stream on Apple TV Plus now. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.